So, how are y'all doing out there? This Lindsey Clancy stuff is getting out of control. These feminist women have jumped the literal shark, several sharks, crocodiles, alligators, you name it. They're showing you who they are. And no, I don't stand with this woman, obviously. But, you know, her children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan, I need to memorize those names. Everybody should memorize those names. Should be household names, not hers, in my opinion. And if it's true that she did the deeds, I think she did. I think she methodically and intentionally, in cold blood, killed her children one after the other. Those dark eyes, when you see her image, and those dark eyes say it all. There's like, she's a sociopath. No remorse. And if she's crying because she's about to, something should happen to her, in my opinion. I think she should be not breathing the same oxygen we are. You know what I mean by that. Anybody that makes a child stumble gets the millstone. And our culture is circling the drain, in my opinion. You start legalizing killing your children and pushing the envelope on that, that's a slippery slope, man. Abortion's a slippery slope. And then now we're here. Women not only want to kill their children up to birth, up to crowning and being born, they want to get away with killing their children for whatever reason they can come up with. And not Gloria Steinem, all these evil women that have convinced women to reject their biology and their nurturing ways of being, was one of the biggest psyops that's ever been successful in the West. Not only the voting thing, the suffrage movement. Women didn't want to vote back in the day. They didn't want to be involved in the nasty, dirty game of politics. They knew that they would have to, sign up for the draft or whatever else. And women are not cut out for that. I don't care what you say. There might be a few, bulldog women out there that can fight like a man, but still the man's going to beat them. We're not built the same way. But it was the elite women of wealthy backgrounds that made sure that passed. Women did not want to be involved in politics. It's nasty, dirty. They wanted to stay in their communities and raise family. That's the truth. But you're not going to be told that. There's an agenda here. There's an agenda behind everything that shapes our lives. And if you sit there and consume that black box in your living room, you're going to be brainwashed. You're going to be influenced to think a certain way because your emotions are being triggered. They do it all the time. It's everywhere. Netflix is bullshit. Yeah, I think good people are in there making good shows too to expose these people, like Blacklist. But, I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV probably since around 2015. I started getting disgusted with it. One of the shows that came on HBO back in the day was Shameless. I didn't get through the first episode. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Are you serious? I'm not watching that crap. And I just turned it off and canceled the subscription to HBO or Showtime or whatever it came on. I'm not gonna pay for my degradation and have that shit in my mind. I'm not gonna do it. But that's how they do it. They enter and hold the mind. That's what entertainment means. To influence the masses and the public. And it's worked. So here we are with a woman that killed her 3 babies in cold blood. And you got the feminist women out there supporting her, saying, I can relate to that. If you admit that out loud or just think that you can relate to something like that, and all these women, all these videos have these great homes. It looks like they're living pretty well. They have beautiful homes. They have beautiful children. They're taken care of. Their men are out working, making sure they're taken care of. And they're fucking complaining. Pardon my French. I do drop the F-bomb on occasion because it pierces the veil. And not because I want to cuss. That's how I talk. And I know that's not very feminine. I know it's not very womanly like. Oh, sorry, but that's just kind of how I've come to be. When I mean something, I say it, and a cuss word comes out. I apologize. But I digress. You think about, women out there, if you're confused, if you're on the fence, if you're searching your soul and trying to figure shit out, turn off the social media, turn off the TV, and sit quiet for about a week or a month and not plug into that stuff. Get quiet. That's where all the answers come. Now again, I stopped watching the boob tube several years ago. I watch YouTube and stuff to learn something or whatever, and I do plug into that. But I don't watch regular mainstream television. It's all BS. They're all trying to manipulate the culture, and that's what we're doing. They've been doing it for decades. The TV, once that thing was invented, they had a powerful thing on their hands, and they're using it. They are using it. So like I said, take a 30,000 foot view of your life and think back on how you were raised, what influenced you, who your parents are, who your grandparents are. Really go down the rabbit hole of who you are as a human being and why you think the way you think. Ask yourself why you believe what you believe. Does it make sense? Is it does it speak to your soul? What is it? Are you trying to get approval from other people all the time? Do you care what people think, or have you been liberating yourself and not caring what people think? Which is what you should do. You should be good and humble, but at the same time, you can't make what other people think of you your whole driving story. Because what is it? Comparison is the thief of joy, and that's what you end up doing. You're comparing yourself to other people, and then you're not living your life. You're just consuming their shit. And I'm not perfect. I've come to these answers on my own by myself because I've lived alone for a while, and I've turned off all the noise, and I let spirit talk to me. I let God talk to me. So that's what you women need to do. So, I think of all the shows that I watched when I was a kid. I remember That Girl, Rhoda, Maude, One Day at a Time, Laverne and Shirley was a big one, Three's Company. All these shows, there's a few more I know. I'm not saying Sex and the City, complete garbage. There's so many more. Excuse me. Mary Tyler Moore, Dick Van Dyke. Those are kind of wholesome family movies, I guess. I remember Leave It to Beaver. I remember I Love Lucy, Little House on the Prairie. I'm just kind of reading these now. There's definitely an agenda behind movies, behind sitcoms. The Brady Bunch. I watched all of them. The Bionic Woman, The $6 Million Man, Quincy, MASH. All these shows had some influence on your life if you were a Gen Xer like me. But that was during the time of the women's movement, the feminist movement, the bra burning, and the abortion right crap, which Roe v. Wade was passed fraudulently. Roe was manipulated and they used her story to pass this law, like they did with the Civil Rights Law. That law, people are gonna get triggered on that. That was passed fraudulently as well and pushed in a certain way. And now our country's in chaos because of that. But I digress. That's a different story altogether. Everything is about controlling the public. And if they can control you, make you consume these shows that enter and hold your mind, entertainment. They shoot you up with vaccines that are completely unnecessary. That's another story. And then they emotionalize everything. And women have just lost their Evan Levitt minds. So the Sex and the City thing was garbage. It was influenced a lot of women. I used to watch it before I knew better. I get it. But because I was all into Hollywood a long time ago, because I wanted to be a part of that at some point in my life, because I was dumb. Just didn't know. I was naive. Because I was in theater in high school and stuff like that. But anyway, I always wondered why when you watch the award shows, the Oscars or the music shows, and it's all just a den of thieves and demons in there. I know that now, but back in the day, when they write shows, they don't necessarily bring them. Bewitched is another one. They don't necessarily bring the parents in writing the show. You don't get the background of the character from the parents' perspective necessarily. You get a few here and there. But like, say you watch the award shows, and I noticed that I'm like, why aren't these stars bringing their parents to these award shows? It's like a big movement moment in their lives, and they're getting awards for whatever movie they made. And you never see these people bring their parent or their one parent or their sibling, or a sibling if they're in the industry. But why aren't they sharing this event with their parents? And why, a lot of people write the characters, and you know about this character in the show, but you don't necessarily see the parent, like in Sex and the City. Like, they didn't bring why are these girls like this, and where are their parents? Is what I was thinking. Where's their mom? Where's their dad? That was always a question in the back of my mind when the shows like that come out. I'm like, what's the storyline here? Why are they in this situation? But you never get that. And you never really saw the parents at award shows. There's a few. I think years ago I saw Tom Cruise's mom at an award show. I don't know why I'm talking about this shit, because it doesn't matter. But it makes me think about how demonic that industry is. So it's all sorcery and Babylonian freaking crap. And people aren't aware of that now. And I think when people realize that they've been manipulated and lied to for decades to be controlled by these people come out and promote the vaccines, get vaccinated, something's up. The milk industry got milk, and children used to be on milk cartons back in the day, the missing kids, but that I think was advertising for the demons. Got milk, they're putting it right in your face. But I digress. I'm blambling here, and I sound kind of ridiculous to some people, I'm sure. And those of you who do know what I'm talking about. But this whole thing with Lindsey Clancy is a rude awakening for the just the general public that doesn't see what's been going on. I think this is like a nail in the coffin for the feminist movement, I hope. Because you think about men say, get back in the kitchen, which is triggering, and it's triggered me a little bit. I'm like, yeah, wait a minute. What's the kitchen? What is the kitchen? If you think about it, what happens in the kitchen besides cooking and making meals for your family and your loved ones? What happens in the kitchen besides sustenance and love in that regard? That's what should happen. It's the heart of the home, folks. It's the heart of the home. That's where women go to not only feed their families and create great food, and you sit around the kitchen table, you have family conversations, there's conversation, there's laughter, there's heartbreak, there's sadness. All kind of things happen in the heart of the home, and that's the kitchen. That's the family gathering place. That's where everyone gathers during the holidays, and family stuff is always around the kitchen, the fire, if you're out camping. Think about that. And when men say, get back to the kitchen, it's kind of a compliment, because women create sanctuaries for their family to come and rest and regenerate their energy. It's the heart of the home. And women, your life isn't over if you have family and raise children, but that's the most important job you could ever do, is raise a quality human being. Your career doesn't fucking matter. Your traveling doesn't fucking matter. You can travel over the world. You have all these pictures of all these things, places you've gone, and all the pictures you can show all your friends, but all your friends are doing it too. At the end of the day, at the end of your life, it's not going to matter where you went or what career you had. Nobody cares about that shit. They only care about your legacy and what you left behind. And if you raised a quality human being, a few of them, a ton of them, to make this world a better place, then you did your job. That's it. You know, I believed all this feminist crap when I was younger. I didn't know any better. I was too distracted. I didn't care. But I did notice some stuff that kind of sat with me and were seeds when I was younger. And now I kind of see what that is. So, ladies, you have to start doing some self-awareness and discovering why you believe what you believe. And men, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for rejecting women right now. I've seen a lot of videos where these women are just out of control, entitled brats. I see it in the work environment. Even for young men, I see this entitlement shit. I'm Gen X, if you haven't figured that out yet. It's bad. It is horrible what's happened in the West. And I could go on about immigration. These people don't belong here. They need to be deported. They don't assimilate. They don't speak our language. You know, I can go on and on about that, but that's not the subject of this video. Women need to be checked big time. And you ladies, these men out here that you hate on are holding up the infrastructure of the West and keeping your creature comforts alive and well. So you start bashing on men, you are insane. You cannot live without men. Women are freaking batshit and can barely focus on something that would matter to helping society maintain itself. They've weaponized the nurturing aspect of femininity to redirect that nurturing towards people that don't give a fuck about you. Okay? So, women, you need to check yourself. Young ladies out there, if you happen to see this video, I hope you take some of my advice. Get quiet and start doing some self-inventory of who you are and why you believe what you believe. You're being totally manipulated. There is an agenda behind it. And I hope you figure it out. God bless.